What's happening, guys? Cap over here, and welcome to our week. Let's see, we're on week 5. This week we're going to be going against the New York Cosmogs, coached by Phantom Base. Sorry about all these games being uploaded relatively late. I got a bit confusing there towards the end. This being in particular was an interesting week too. But before we get into that, be sure to check out his side of the battle in the description down below. You can click on it and I'll go right over there. But speaking of confusing weeks, this was a relatively interesting week because this man got to draft a bunch of new mons, and he built this really badass team over here with Jirachi, Kiron, B, Megalopunny, Dermanitan. He's got a couple other big threats in there too, but boy oh boy. And yeah, this was something that I was not looking forward to, and I think I was just having one of those weeks where I'm just like, I'm sick of Pokemon. I'm still having those couple days, but hey, what can you do? What can you do? But anywho, I've got Keldeo, Magearna, Latios, my Mega Latios, Weavile, P2, and Gliscor. So some of the heat I'm bringing in today. Let me tell you, I've got my Rock Polish Gliscor over here. No, Rock Polish? Agility Gliscor. So Agility Gliscor actually does relatively well against this team. If I can get rid of Electros and weaken up, well, even then, I don't even have to do so much damage on a lot of things. I just got to get some chip damage on everything, and then I can actually sweep with Gliscor, which is fantastic. So pretty much everyone else's job in the team is to get some chip damage off, and hopefully we can make that happen because Acrobatics, Stone Edge, and Earthquake demolish his team. So that's some of the heat I'm bringing in today. I just wanted to have some fun for this one too. So let's just jump right into this. So I'm just gonna go at normal pace. I'm gonna lead off with my Lacaputina. Figured it was the best thing to lead off with. Of course I'm gonna stay in. It's Electros. Most likely it is Assault Vest. This confirms it. And he's just gonna go for a U-turn, which does a lot of damage. I'm fine with that. He sends out his Beast Skull Dragon, and I'm like, oh man, I'm not about this life. He makes a double over here, as I'm not staying in on this mon over here. I'm just gonna go right into Dock Dodgers, and I'm gonna see how much damage this thing wants to do to me. Flare Blitz does a lot of damage, and I'm like, oh dang, why does that do so much? So I'm just gonna switch into my Lacaputina over here just to take the damage, as he goes for the Zen Headbutt, predicting my Keldeo, I guess. And I can just go for Recover, or I think I have a Reflect on this thing. One of the two. But at this moment I can just go right into Dock Dodgers, and this is where it gets a bit stally. This is like a little indication of what could potentially happen. This is the first time that they meet, a Duck and a Jirachi, a Wishmaker. So I'm just going to set up my Reflect. No point of going for anything else. But he does go for the knockoff, and I'm like, oh, that's not good. Getting that gone. But at this moment I can just go for a Tri Attack, and I'm like, I'm honestly gaining more damage, or I don't know, I might win this battle, so I just go for another one, and I get the Frozen. Serene Grace, Duck Dodgers. It's good to be bad sometimes. Yeah, so I get the freeze on Electros, and that is fantastic because Electros is annoying, and I can actually just set up my Reflect at this moment. Yeah, that sort of sucks. It happens, but yeah, so I can actually knock through this Electros, and I'm like, okay, that's good. That's really awesome. That is fantastic because that is one step closer for Gliscor to potentially sweeping. We're still at a decent amount of HP, but I'm doing all right here. I am doing all right. I got my Reflect up. I can send out Lacaputina. No problems for me whatsoever at this situation. But he ends up going for a Substitute, and I'm like, oh dang, is he Power Punch? Psychic sort of Latias sort of thing going on here. That's not bad. Ice Punch, Return, High Jump Kick, Power Punch, Substitute, 5 moves, what? So he ends up switching out, and I'm like, oh, okay. That's good. So I don't lose like Caputina over here. As he's just gonna go for a U-turn, and I'm like, okay. He's just gonna go for that nice U-turn action. I don't want to stay in every time this thing comes in, and he's making good aggressive plays over here as I'm forced to go right into my Dock Dodgers. That is my switch to this right away, straight up. As he's going to go for a Drain Punch that does like 35%, and I'm like, let's just land this discharge right over here, get the paralyzation. I do have Serene Grace, so that's like a 60% chance to paralyze, as the Reflect is going to be doing so much damage. Or the Reflect is going to be like negating the Drain Punch. So at this moment, I'm sort of thinking about what I could do, because I can just stay in here all day, honestly, fire off some discharges, pretty much do that. It all comes down to like, who does he send out, what is he going to do. This thing under the Reflect doesn't really do that much. It still does a lot. It still does a lot, don't get me wrong, but he's just going to come back to this thing. I'm going to go for a Recover, and I can keep at this for a while. Honestly, it doesn't really hurt me at all. And he ends up just going for a U-turn once again. Once more, once again, back at ya. As Beast Skull Dragon is going to come back once again. And this thing's getting relatively annoying for me because I don't have a lot for it. And looking back, maybe I should have just gone into McGearin or something. Maybe that would have been a better of play, just going for the Floor Cannon or something. He doesn't get the roll on this one, which is fantastic, and I can just go for Recover and actually put myself out of range where Ice Beam will not take me down. But keep a note, keep noted on that one. That one is not a good situation for me. Once again, I can just keep on going for the Recover. He does get paralyzed, bit unfortunate, but I can go for a Reflect. And when playing this game, this actually took such a long time. It was like, oh boy, it was quite the journey, and needless to say, as Desiree is gonna come in here, and this is fine by me. I can just sort of stay in, go for the discharge. I figured, you know what, maybe I can get some poison up, but he's trying to waste my Reflect turns. Good play on his part, as I decide it's time to go into the count. It is time to go into the count. I was running some calculations, and I wasn't real enough to go for Rock Polish or something like that, or Agility. Why do I keep saying Rock Polish? And I decided, you know what, Stone Edge isn't the best play here because I actually don't take it down. So I wanted to save it for a bit longer. Maybe, looking back, I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, so I lose Dock Dodges over here. My one solid check to Beast Skull Dragon. Bad play on my part because I knew it was Choice Scarved. Maybe should have just gone into something else, but Julian Smith is going to come out. I make a prediction over here, get that mean 33% off. And I'm like, alright, I can stay in, keep on firing these things off. But what do you know, this thing has Giga Drain, and I'm like, oh, I'm not winning this battle. I do need Pony to stay in and actually do some more damage or do something else. That's not a good situation for me over there, as he goes for his Scald, and bit of a risky play on his part, but I decided, you know what, I can just go for a Psychic or something like that. And I put this thing in range where Stone Edge actually does KO it at this moment, and I'm like, alright, cool. Now I know that I can actually sack this Mon off, go into my BB-8, go for a Shift Gear, because Shift Gear is actually another way to win the battle too. And I miss out on the KO. I ran the calculations, it wasn't roll. I knew what was going to happen. And yeah, I sort of make a blunder over here. I make a bad misplay, sack off Pony over here, no point for that. And then I decide, you know what, I can stay in and Agility, because everything's in range for my Mon to actually win, but nope. This is where I actually really misplay, and it really cost me the battle throughout the game. At this moment, I will unfortunately lose 3-0. We pick up our second loss in a row of this season. GG to Phantom Base and whatnot. A bit, yeah, it sort of sucked, but I did get hacks on my favor too, so, and I felt like I did play, I played well for most of the game, but halfway, or towards the end game, I sort of just threw the game, and sacking off Latias, Mega Latias, and the Keldeo, it wasn't good. And him making the prediction on Zen Headbutt too was pretty solid on his part too, so yeah, there's a lot of contributing factors that really played in. I think I just overplayed it and overthought it. I should have just gone like straight out and whatnot. So I think we're going to be going 3-2 at the moment, which is not great, but it's not bad. It means it puts more pressure on us to really pick up the pace. Fortunately for us, that surge negates like 160, so now we're at +7 or +8, something like that. So we still have a really good differential in our favor, just from the first 3 weeks. So I'm not too worried about that side. But the next couple of games, we've got some really incredible opponents. Like our final down the street game, the only really easy game is going to be the Tennessee Trevenants, who haven't won a game yet. But we have people like the Salzzin Slazzles, we've got the Golden State War Turtles, the Bristol Blues, and then we finish off the season with the San Antonio Victory Bells. So we really got our work cut out for us, and we got to pick up the pace once more. But I'm going to get going. I hope you guys enjoy. Hopefully I can bring you guys a victory in the next video. I'm going to be uploading a couple of these battles, try to catch up with the uploads and whatnot. But anywho, I'm going to get going. So have yourselves a good day, and peace.